Yo, what is going on, guys? Today I'm here with Nintendo Memories, and we're back talking about the Nintendo Direct, as you should be able to see it. I'm gonna look funky because I have it playing in full screen here, but whatever. We're just gonna go through one thing at a time, basically, on what happened in the Nintendo Direct and what our thoughts are, what we think of it at the end. So the first thing they showed was the Splatoon 3 Expansion Pass Side Order DLC, and I would say that it looks really cool. I mean, I can't wait to get my hands on Splatoon 3. I have not played it still, but I'm getting it this weekend. And between that and Mortal Kombat, I'm going to be pretty busy. But I'm excited to play Splatoon 3. But that being said, I didn't play the first DLC, obviously, since I haven't played the game. But this second DLC looks really interesting. It looks so cool. Like, Splatoon 2's DLC was very interesting. So, like, I like the colors and the vibe of it. It looks pretty neat, you know?
Yeah, I was really a huge fan of the Splatoon 2 DLC, the Octo expansion. It was a lot of fun, and it was a little bit more free in terms of how you access missions and all that. And it looks like this is continuing where that one left off. And I can tell the gameplay is kind of similar. It looks a lot more combat heavy than before. Like you're fighting enemies left and right, and it looks like you're getting a lot of it looks like there's a point system
splash damage
that we saw.
It shows, wait, hang on, oh, I just spiral slope floor, wait, what? Splash damage, run speed up, drone splat bomb. There's like easy, normal, hard. There we go. There's a Pearl's palette, it's called. Power, and you have power, support, range, mobility. Huh. Different like upgrades.
Yeah, it's very interesting, but also whenever you're fighting the enemies, you're getting, like, whenever they disappear, whenever they explode, they don't just explode, like you get like points added to you or whatever it is. And so, but I also like how they're keeping the plot of this one very mysterious. Like while the gameplay looked really cool and everything, I still don't necessarily know what the plot is. Like it looks like like the world you're in looks real glitchy and kind of computerized. It looks really interesting, and even this is also going to be the reintroduction of Pearl and Marina, which were the main like newscasters in Splatoon 2. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah,
the robot seems to be like some. Yeah, they're like transmitting something. Like I believe it's Pearl. Pearl is you can hear Pearl's voice inside of that robot that's with you. And so, but I'm interested to see where that goes and what exactly the whole plot of this is going to be. But overall, I'm looking forward to it. I hate that it's 2024. I was kind of hoping that it would be a 2023 and that it would kind of be like the end, like maybe towards the end of the year. It would be really cool. But I kind of also see why it's 2024. Like we were talking about in our last discussion. I kind of like the first time we saw it, it was a very brief teaser, and the development looked like it was very early. Yeah. So, but anyway, other than that, I was really pleased with what we saw in terms of Splatoon 3 DLC, and so I'm excited to play it when it comes.
I would say I think it will be after the February Direct that they give a release date for it, since it only says 2024. I'm assuming that it's probably going to be one final little thing at the February Direct, and then they're going to give us a release date for it. As long as it's, my guess is March.
Yeah, I
had to guess.
Yeah, I could also see, I don't know if they'll do this. They've done it before, where like the Squid Research Lab or their development team does like a solo presentation, kind of doing one more final deep dive into that, and then maybe at the end they'll like give a release date. I could see them doing its own thing. That way it doesn't take time in the next Direct, or they might just slide it in and say, hey, here's when it's coming out. I could see them going either way with it, but either way, I think it'll be really fun to play when it finally releases.
Plus, the game's still technically got at least 2 to 3 years support, so hard to say if they would do another expansion for the game at all. But I know the second game only had one. No. Yeah, they'll probably just do their patches and updates and there's a lot in that game. I know that much, so I mean.
Oh yeah, my one complaint with that expansion pass is because I haven't gotten the expansion pass yet, and I won't get it until that DLC releases. And the reason why I didn't download it on the spot is because I think they should have added the Splatoon 3 expansion pass to like Nintendo Switch Online, like as a perk to Nintendo Switch Online membership, because they did the booster course pass for Mario Kart. and that has 6 waves of DLC.
It's the same thing for.
And you can't put.
J-Man made a point that they should have added the Smash DLC in the Nintendo Online service, which I'm surprised they never have done that. The DLC's been done for about 2 years now, and they have not done that.
Yeah,
it's interesting to me.
Yeah, I think if Nintendo would make small little moves like that, for one, I think it would improve just the outlook that people have on Nintendo Switch Online, because a lot of people right now, I think there's still a lot of talk right now on whether Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack is even worth it, because, I mean, if you're a big retro gamer and someone who loves those old games, me, then I would say that it's worth it, but there's some people who'd be like, okay, these are old games.
Or they already own the games
they don't really
have a need,
or they own,
for it. So yeah.
Right. And if that doesn't, and if the old classic games do not grab you, what else do you have? Just Animal Crossing and Mario Kart, and the Splatoon 2 expansion is on there. But not Splatoon 3, which I think is also kind of weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's my only one complaint with the DLC, is that it's not like put on the Nintendo Switch Online. But other than that, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be solid when it comes out.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. So, that's that. From there, it was like, wow, right from Splatoon 3 right into this. Holy crap. There was leaks about this, but I mean, it wasn't nothing that I really paid attention to. I was like, oh, I mean, that'd be cool, I guess.
I didn't either.
Mario vs. Donkey Kong was the next thing that they showed, but it's a brand new one. It's not like a remake of an old one or anything like that.
Actually,
right? It's a new one?
Actually, I think it is a remake. It's the one from Game Boy Advance. It's the one from Game Boy Advance. And I'm actually very excited for this because I had a lot of fun with Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the DS. I played a lot of that as a kid, and so I never got to play the one on Game Boy Advance. And so when I saw that this was coming, for one, I wasn't paying attention to any of the leaks either. So because I've been burned before by leaks, and I was like, okay, not listening to leaks anymore, because it just causes you to get your hopes way too high. But anyway, when I saw that and saw that those were coming, I was like, sweet, I'm looking forward to it. And the fact that it's early next year, February, I'll take it. It looks
March,
great.
Right?
Is it March? Is it March? No, I think it's February. I think it's February 16th.
I'll find out in a minute. That's actually good, because that's before a certain game that's going to be my game of the year next year comes out, which is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So
yeah, March I believe is Princess Peach, which we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah,
that's sweet. Regardless, I mean, like, I don't know. I didn't grow up with these games, so I don't know if it's if it's something that grabs me or not. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna watch people play it. Obviously, I'll watch you play it and stuff. In case I'm not sure if I really want it or not, especially for $60.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's February 16th.
Actually, I think
it's February 16th.
Yeah, it's February 16th, and I actually think, because I went on the eShop recently, and I think it's a $50 game. It's not 60, it's 50.
That's not terrible. That's not terrible. That means on sale there's a chance it could be 30 when it's on sale, like holiday season, like $20 off. They usually do $20 off. So that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, and the actual gameplay of this looks very similar to that of like Super Mario Brothers and Donkey Kong kind of meshed together, like, or Donkey Kong Jr. specifically, because I don't know if you played like the NES Donkey Kong Jr. on NSO, but anyway, there's a part there you get to play as like Diddy Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. as he's referred to in that game, where he's like, you get to like climb on the vines and stuff like that, and Mario can do that in this. And so I think it's cool they've kind of merged that mechanic in here too. So just shows how like old mechanics from old games way back in the NES era still carried over into this. So I think it's pretty
Plus,
pretty
they
cool.
also added the I don't know if it was in the original, but like the backflips for Mario. I feel like that wasn't in the original. I feel like the backflips of Mario probably.
I've never played the original, so I wouldn't know. But I'm kind of right there with you. I think it all seems very like new life has been put into this. So
the animations are really cool too. They always really like
oh yeah,
the Switch era of like some Mario stuff. They really, especially talking like Mario Wonder, which wasn't in this actually, right? It wasn't in this. No. In the rewind. It was in the rewind at the end. That was
but just for like 5 seconds.
So, even like the expressions of the characters have gotten like way better You know, like they like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh, they
100%.
actually have personality now. Like, no, it's really cool.
Oh yeah.
So the next thing, I mean, this wasn't like anything crazy, and we knew about it. I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. And honestly, like, I didn't really grow up with Prince of Persia much, but it actually looks good, because from what I heard, there was a lot of not very good Prince of Persia games. So I mean, it looks like a fine game. You know, it looks
Yeah, I never. So don't kill me, internet, if you're watching this. But I never really played any Prince of Persia games myself. So this game, I kind of didn't even. I kind of forgot about it after I saw it. So, but because of other announcements, which we'll get to later on.
Oh,
but,
yeah. Like, it was more of. It wasn't the most forgettable thing in the Direct, but it was still like, unless you're like a big Prince of Persia person and have been waiting a long time for a new Prince of Persia, it's like, oh, okay, cool. looks like a cool game. Glad the fans get a good Prince of Persia game. Cool. Well, it looks like a fun 2D side scroller, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next thing was Horizon Chase 2, which, I mean, whatever. That's a racing game. Good for Nintendo fans to have their Nintendo racing game. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we got quite a few racing games.
But you know what, though?
I'm sure the.
You know what? We didn't get any farming simulators in this Direct. We didn't get a farm sim. I find that crazy.
I bet people were happy about that.
Yeah.
I bet people were over the moon about
Yeah.
that. Unless you're just a diehard Animal Crossing fan and just looking for something else to play while you wait for Animal Crossing Next Gen. So, anyway.
Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. I don't know what that is, but it looks kind of wacky and silly. I don't know what that is.
So, yeah, I don't quite remember that one either. And this is the truth. I was planning on streaming this Direct, and then I went. First off, I got out of class late, so I wasn't able to get back to my dorm. And when I got back to my dorm, turns out I left my key inside of my dorm room, and so I had to literally call the people to come and help me open my dorm. And so being able to like. When I finally got in, I was like, look, it's too late now. There's no way I'm going to be able to set up in time and do all this. So I basically just, when it got to the headlines, I just kind of skimmed past a lot of and when I saw that something big was about to happen, I started there. So, but anyway, a lot of the headline stuff I kind of glossed over.
Yeah, yep. That's how it usually goes unless you're watching it live. Like the next one's a Spy Family game, which I like that show, but no, who cares? It's like, I don't know, man. It's nothing. Like, I like the show, but like, okay, sure. All right, now we can get into something else. Mario RPG, you and me called it. We knew that they would have a new trailer here. You know, there's a couple new like things in the game they added, I guess. I'm assuming the percentage bar where your group doesn't attack together, I'm assuming that's the new mechanic. I think
that's new, and also I'm really intrigued by the fact that you can go back and I guess refight the bosses on a harder difficulty.
I like that.
As someone who likes to do games on the hardest setting, that's right up my alley. So I'm looking forward to that.
Definitely take your time with a turn-based RPG. I can tell you that much. Because I learned my lesson playing Final Fantasy VII Original. If you don't take your time, do it like through the game and rush it and get to the final boss, you're like screwed. Because you just are not you didn't grind enough, basically.
But one of the things I hope that this game does, I hope this shows Nintendo that we fans still care about this genre of games for the Mario series, because there hasn't been a new Mario and Luigi game for a long time. There hasn't been a new mainline true Paper Mario game in a long time. We'll get to Paper Mario, I'm sure, in a second. But like a brand new Paper Mario game in the original style in such a long time. So I hope that with the success of this game, that it shows Nintendo, hey, we need to make more of these. Like, fans love this still.
Absolutely.
So I really hope it does well. I'm super excited to play it in November. It comes out right after Mario Wonder. We get Mario Wonder and Mario RPG back to back.
Which listen, like it would be great if I didn't have another game on top of that, which is Spider-Man. I'm gonna be playing all three of these, man. I'll be playing all three of these. And Spider-Man 2, sidetrack just for a second. The map is like almost twice as big as the first games. Like, what the heck?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I also have this beautiful thing. So, you know, the controller. All right, but yeah,
but yeah,
I'm pumped for it. I mean, I think that's cool that you get to refight bosses and stuff after you beat the game if you want and stuff like that. So that's really cool. And like you said, Nintendo is listening. And you said Mario and Luigi, by the way. I think that could still happen in the future, if easily. Like not even a new one, like a remake of the last one, because of these remakes and because of them listening and because of them doing all these remakes and remasters of all these games from the GameCube era. Not that that's not a GameCube game though, right? It's from Game Boy Advance.
It's from
Or DS.
Super
Wait,
Mario
DS.
RPG.
No,
Mario
and Luigi or whatever. Wasn't it DS?
The first Mario and Luigi game was Game Boy Advance. Mario and Luigi 2 and 3, Partners in Time and Bowser's Inside Story, those were DS. Dream Team and Paper Jam were 3DS.
Okay. Yeah, there were so many DS games I missed out on. Like, I really want to play those games. So, I kind of hope that someday...
Yeah,
I would love if someday the DS games came to NSO, but who knows? I mean, clearly they're not going to do GameCube. They're not going to do GameCube. They are making GameCube ports because they know they're going to make money off these easily because of the GameCube era. But the DS, I feel like they could put that on there just because it seems like they like putting handhelds on there. So they could do DS. I don't know, because like there's so many DS games, like the Mario games, that I missed out on the DS because I was so focused on Pokemon with the DS because I grew up playing the Pokemon games more than anything on the DS era. So there were some of those Mario games that I had missed out on that I still would like to play.
Yeah, my one issue when it comes to a new Mario and Luigi game is they would need to find a new developer studio to handle it, because the main developer, Alpha Dream, who handled the development of every single one of those games, went bankrupt. It is no longer around anymore, so they can't make those games, anymore. So they'd have to find a new developer studio. I would love if they, I mean, this is going to sound real crazy, but I would love it if they maybe gave it to Ubisoft, because I loved what Ubisoft did with Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle and Sparks of Hope. I really, so if they were to apply like kind of their skills with that and put it into a new Mario and Luigi, I'd love to see what they could do with that, because they blew me away and they surprised me with what they did with Sparks of Hope and Kingdom Battle. So I think they could do a good job with this,
Oh yeah, 100%, hands down. Next announcement. I don't know what the heck these are, but apparently they're from the DS. Another Code Recollection 1 and 2. DS and Wii, I think. I don't know. Yeah. You got me. Didn't grow up with that. No idea. It's nothing.
Yay for fans.
Yay for
fans who wanted it.
Right. All right. So, Peach game. Princess Peach Showtime.
I called this.
Yeah. You called like half this direct, man. Like pretty much.
Yeah.
You were like, they're gonna show Peach, they're gonna give us a release date, this and that, blah blah blah. And honestly, it's funny. I was watching the trailer when I was watching it live, and I'm like, I don't know if this is really that interesting. I don't know. And then suddenly it got more interesting as it went on. Like, oh, all right, that's kind of cool. I don't know if I'm gonna play it. I don't know if I'm gonna pay $60 for it or $50 or whatever, but it's something that maybe I'd get on sale if I seen it for a good price.
Oh yeah, and and I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there who are really a big fan of Princess Peach and who have wanted her to get her shine for a while.
Yeah, because
now she's going.
She had a DS game, right? I think they had a Okay.
She did.
So yeah. Especially after the Mario movie, like this game's gonna sell like crazy after that movie, man. Peach was such a highlight in that.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna sell so much.
Oh, absolutely. And I think and I kind of like how they're kind of basing it off of I like the plot and the scenarios they've given. Like they allow, like at one point Peach is a sword fighter, then she's a detective, and then I like the different like abilities that they're giving her, and I feel like fans of Peach are gonna have a good time with this. I really do. I'm kind of like you, where I don't know if I'll get it day one, but maybe on sale or something like that. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun.
I think it'll sell well still too.
People who are fans.
Absolutely. A lot of kids that liked the Mario movie are going to want this game, especially young girls and stuff are going to really want this game. So when they see it. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like especially like it's Peach dressing up except in a cool way. Like come on, little kids love that.
only only Nintendo could do that.
Yeah, to
They
make
make
it.
Princess
Yep.
Peach. Yeah, make Princess Peach going into a theater cool.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Pretty much. And it's got like a little. I notice. I don't know if that's Peach's. No, that's not Peach's castle, right? It's not Peach's castle.
The very beginning of the trailer is
Okay,
Peach's
because they
castle.
show her inside of a castle thing again. Like at the end. Is that her castle?
I think that
it looks similar.
That's
okay. The theater looks.
That's
the theater looks similar. As all. And there's like different doors with like different designs, like a cowboy hat one or something, and then like a kunai for like the ninja. Huh. That's cool.
Boy, if we get, could you imagine like Cowgirl Peach like that? That would be insane.
Yeah.
Like I have a feeling there's probably.
Can you imagine?
In
Not imagine, but like, there's gonna be so much more Peach cosplay now and different costumes because of this, dude. So many.
100%.
There's gonna be so much different Peach
Absolutely.
cosplay now after this, which is so cool. It's better.
Yeah,
it's
and my
better
little
than it
sister-
being Bowsette, right?
Oh gosh, let's not.
We
even go
won't.
there.
We
Let's
won't.
not even go
We
there.
won't.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Yeah.
No.
It said March 22nd. It comes out. Okay. Oh man.
Yeah. So in February we get Mario versus Donkey Kong, and then March you get Peach, which I think is. I mean, even into 2024, we're still getting back-to-back stuff.
Insane.
Which is insane.
It is
to me.
insane. The Switch. I was watching Red Bandana's podcast the other night, and they were talking about this direct, and he said that they want the end of the Switch's lifespan basically to be like on fire before the new console, like the build up to the new console, and then the new console's gonna drop with Metroid Prime 4, maybe something else too. They gotta have at least 2 or 3 titles. The Switch, I mean, everyone bought it for Breath of the Wild, so they gotta have. I don't know if Metroid Prime 4 is going to be like the big thing for us, you know, but like younger adults or like kids that want this new system. I don't know. It needs. I don't know if it's going to have something else like at launch or maybe later in the year, the way that the Switch had Breath of the Wild and then it had Mario Odyssey just like 6 months later. Maybe they'll do something like that.
I think there's. We can kind of save a little bit of this conversation later towards the end, but in terms of Switch 2, I think there's 2 things they could do. I think they're in terms of like big games. You know, you're talking about like Metroid Prime 4 is like the big thing for Nintendo fans. Yeah. I also think it could be a showcase for like all the people who say like, oh, Nintendo doesn't care about power. They're just a little kid company and stuff like that. Oh, no, they're not. Let that be, because I have a feeling they're probably going to have another big presentation for this next gen system like they did with the Nintendo Switch back in 2017, like the beginning of 2017. And I feel like the game they're going to use to showcase its graphical prowess is Metroid Prime 4, because you saw how good Metroid Prime Remastered looked on the basic Switch. Metroid Prime 4 is probably going to be insane.
Metroid Dread looked amazing, but that wasn't like full on 3D. God. So like Prime 4, yeah. And I have another crazy thing with the new console, like, at least within its first year. I don't want to say launch title because we got Prime 4, and they'll probably do a game similar to Nintendo's, either Nintendo Sports or what you call it, I don't know, they do weird launch titles, like 1-2 Switch, for instance. So, I would, I don't know, I was gonna, call me crazy, but, come on, F-Zero. We got F-Zero 99. Maybe that's a hint. Think that's a hint? You know?
It's I'll give it. I will
they're
say
listening.
this.
If they're listening they're listening to fans, which this proved they are, there's gotta be something out there.
I also think with this next system, they're gonna reveal the next 3D Mario, whether it's a launch title or not. I think that'll be another.
They did reveal Mario Odyssey before for the reveal of the new console. We were like, wait, is that like a new Galaxy? Like, what was that? You know, so it was like,
I thought that's what it was at first. I thought it was a new Mario Galaxy, and then it wasn't. But you know, I hope so. That's another big thing that I hope comes to existence at some point. I want another Super Mario Galaxy so bad.
And if they're gonna do an Odyssey 2, they'll probably throw us off and have Luigi playable, and like maybe other characters playable possibly to try and throw us off if it was Odyssey 2. At this point, I don't think it's gonna be an Odyssey 2. I really don't. Too many people, like, yeah, Nintendo's listening. Yeah, Nintendo listens to the fans and stuff now. They're proving that right now for the end of the Switch's lifespan. But I don't think they're gonna do an Odyssey 2. They like to innovate and this and that, and it's been too long now. I think it's gonna be a completely new name. 100%.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And also, I think it's probably going to be something on the akin to similar to Bowser's Fury, because Bowser's Fury I felt like was the testing grounds to what an open world Mario would feel like. And I still go back and I play through Bowser's Fury quite frequently. Like, I have not gotten bored of that for a while. Like, it's quick, it's fast paced. If I want to just run through it real quick, like it. But I love the freedom that's in that, and I can just imagine that, but just like in a full scale size Mario game, like a big Mario world to explore. Like, you picture Zelda, but like the Mushroom Kingdom, like a giant Mushroom Kingdom you get to explore. I feel like that's where they're going.
I feel like that's where they're going. I feel like you're right, because you look at the Mario movie too. That could also be testing grounds for a game, that totally completely good piece starting in New York or whatever, or I don't know if it was New York, but whatever. And going through and having the pipe system, you know, to take you to Mushroom Kingdom, and then you can explore other areas. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Honestly, that's a good theory. That's a good theory. That's a very likely possibility, to be honest, because we're not going to see another open world Zelda for like 6 years. Makes sense to do a Mario.
Yeah, which also makes sense to why we haven't seen it yet, because a game that big takes a long time to make. Because a lot of people are wondering, and myself included, like it's been 6 years since Super Mario Odyssey. And so at this point, people are probably wondering, like, shouldn't we have seen the next big 3D Mario by now? Like, I would have thought we would have. But a game that big, that size, you know, and just imagine like the big colossal Bowser fights. Could you imagine like how they do that?
It's gonna be insane.
Just like, that would be just huge. Like, it would be just insane. But yeah, we're going off into a bunch of little tangents now. We should probably get back on.
Really are, but it's like, I mean, yeah.
It's all good because one thing I will say, I used to be a big and I still kind of am. I used to be a huge, big naysayer in terms of Switch 2. Like, all these rumors, all these leaks saying, it's coming soon, it's coming soon, it's coming soon. And I've always been somebody, if you go to my channel, you'll hear me in quite a few videos. I've been a huge, loud voice saying, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, I've been the same way. Not in videos, but like, back in February, I think we discussed the Direct in February. You, me, and Josie and Jen, and Josie was with us on this next system is not coming out this year. It'll likely be 2024 or 2025, and I've said the same thing. I've said it's either gonna be holiday 2024 probably at the earliest. At that time, I was like at the earliest early 2024 at the very earliest, but at this point it's like, yeah, it's either holiday next year or early 2025, and I think holiday next year makes sense, but the Switch was March, so it could be early 2025. But we are hearing about the hardware situation of people have seen the hardware at PAX West or something. So
and I'm still a little hesitant on even those rumors, because when I step back and I look at that, I'm thinking, okay, you mean to tell me that at a big gaming event, like I believe it was at either PAX West or Gamescom, was it PAX West? PAX West. You mean to tell me that at a big event like that, Nintendo just snuck a bunch of devs in the back room and said, hey, here's the next Switch, by the way. I don't buy that. I really don't. And it would be a very hard thing to do, to keep something like that secret at a big convention like this. I just don't see like something like that happening. And maybe I'm wrong. I've never been to an event like that.
I think supposedly the only people who have gotten their hands on any type of hardware related to that are developers at Nintendo. So
yes, and that is the only. And I feel like, because we've seen how Nintendo operates. I mean, definitely, I definitely got that feel from the Zelda team. Their biggest stuff that is so anticipated, they like to keep to themselves as close to the chest as they possibly can. And so I feel like the next gen, the true next gen system, whether it be a Switch Pro or something, whatever, they are keeping that so locked down right now that only developers have seen it. So
they got them Nintendo ninjas on point right now.
Yes, and and maybe, and I do believe it. I do believe that developers probably have
Yeah.
it now. But as far as like how strict they are on, but I don't think that they brought it to an event like this. I just don't see how they would even let it go travel
I don't
that
think they
far, if
have
you
the
know what I
system
mean. I just,
itself either. I mean, obviously, it's probably just some kind of dev kit for sure of some kind, but it's
yeah.
only so like the developers at Nintendo who are working on stuff for that know what they're dealing with, I guess. Such as the Zelda team, of course, because we know that they're working on the next Zelda game already. So, I mean,
Which is
it
insane.
it is, but it makes sense because Breath of the Wild, when that ended, they started Tears of the Kingdom. So I mean, it makes sense. We're getting so off track. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we should have saved this to the very end, but I guess we could go on and talk about the main giant announcement at the
There
end,
are a
which
couple other
was
things
Bowser
well, that I
for
liked. There was something
okay,
that I liked. I
okay,
was really happy personally. I
go
was
for it,
personally really happy
go
about Tomb
for it.
Raider 1 through 3 collection. As
Oh, okay, yeah.
I hadn't played those before. I played one of them on the PSP, which my brother had. I played a little bit of it, which was one of the originals. But seeing those come back, I thought was just a good announcement. Seeing the Tomb Raider classics come back, you know. I thought that was a good announcement.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I never grew up. I never played those,
Yeah.
but I thought that I saw those. They did catch my eye. I was like, I have heard of those before. So when I saw they were coming, I was like, oh, that's actually that's
It's
pretty
a good
cool. But it's
announcement.
cool that fans of that are actually getting it. So I'm happy for fans like you who grew up with it and are getting to play it again.
And that comes out February 14th. Jeez.
Literally right. That's 2 days before Mario vs. Donkey Kong. So
My
just imagine
goodness.
fans of both of
Yeah.
like just so many insane things.
It
Like,
just doesn't stop, dude. It doesn't
and
stop, especially when you're
it,
me and you
no,
play all these systems. It's just not
oh my
stopping,
god,
dude. There's just games constantly
like
coming out.
you know, I feel kind of lucky that I'm kind of a Nintendo fan
Hmm.
only, and I know and the reason, and like I've never been like a big PlayStation or Xbox kind of guy, and so I don't spend a lot of money on games, but like for people who play all three of these systems, gosh, I feel sorry for their
Me.
wallets. so
Yeah,
oh gosh,
me.
I just offended somebody.
Yeah,
Sorry, D-man.
yeah, yeah, because I'm getting the collector's
Oopsie.
edition of Spider-Man 2 plus Mario Wonder.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, see, I I'm doing my best to try to save money, and so it's probably a good thing that maybe I'm a Nintendo fan
Hmm.
only because I'm only spending maybe like
I'm
$60
actually
at
surprised that
most,
you
and
didn't
if
try
it,
getting your hands on the collector's edition they made for Tears of the Kingdom with like the steelbook and stuff. I'm surprised you didn't.
who says that I
Oh,
don't?
wait. Okay, maybe you did get that. Okay, okay. All right.
I just haven't shown it on
Okay.
screen yet. I have
Okay.
it.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I didn't know you had that or not. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It's put up here in my
Before,
house. No, I haven't touched it. It's complete.
but
I left it
I
sealed.
have what I have that you don't is the wooden GameStop, the plaque from GameStop, that wooden plaque. I do have that.
Nice.
I'm really happy
Yeah.
about that. That thing's getting expensive.
But one thing yeah, it is. It is, and I can imagine like there's one thing that I know will probably that I know even today is like almost probably impossible to find. But the first 100 people who were in line at Nintendo New York for Breath of the Wild's launch got their copies, their master editions signed by Eiji Aonuma, and so
Man,
those are probably like super difficult to find.
man,
And if you do find them, it's probably like it's gonna cost you
fortune.
like it's gonna cost a fortune.
$10,000
So
or something, maybe more. Who knows?
yeah. Yeah, but anyway,
There is other stuff I want to talk about, but I will come back to that after we go through this. Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2 was next. I mean, I never played the first one. I like the movie. That's about it. You know, Detective Pikachu's not my thing.
I've never been a. Don't hurt me, internet people who are watching this. I've never been a Pokemon fan.
I'm gonna hurt
I'll
you.
I'll take
No.
my leave now.
No. I grew
Yeah,
I grew up with
but
Pokemon, but honestly, like I talked with Jen, a couple of us Pokemon fans in the Discord. We went on a Sunday night one before we talked to him about what games would be good for him to start with, and it was either Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, or Diamond and Pearl, or Legends Arceus, because Legends Arceus was really interesting. Honestly, to me, that's the best. That's the
yeah,
best Pokemon game since like the good old days of Pokemon on the old DS and Game Boys, because like it was unique and different. Scarlet and Violet just weren't all there. But I guess the DLC is kind of fun, but I don't know. If I ever play the DLC, it's going to be down the line. There's too much video game stuff coming out right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, my little sister, even though I'm not a big Pokemon fan, I'm still kept in the loop a little bit because my little sister is a huge Pokemon fan, and she's played Scarlet and Violet, Arceus, and all those games. And I asked her what she thought about Detective Pikachu, and she's like, not getting it, not interesting. I was like, oh,
yeah, it's
okay.
just it's not my thing, personally. I mean, I only play the mainline stuff, and even then, I'm hesitant on what's coming next because of Game Freak just kind of rushing things out. Arlo talked about it in a full-blown video about the Pokemon problem, and it's just you get it graphically, you know, and the issues, the technical problems. Like, yeah, the games are fun, they can be fun, whatever, but for I don't know. It's like, let's say the next Nintendo console comes out and it's 4K or whatever, 60 frames, and then we get a 30-frame 720p Pokemon game, you know? Like I don't know. I don't understand it. Whatever.
Yeah, I think the Pokemon team, or the Pokemon company rather, needs to take a lesson out of the Zelda team's book, because they need to, if you can't just slap an open world together and just call it good. You need to make sure that that world is functional and playable, because you know that's something that apparently the Pokemon team failed to do. And even some of those funny, crazy glitches and bugs that you find in that game have occurred. I've watched my little sister play Scarlet and Violet, and she laughs at them. She doesn't get like angry, but still, at the same time, I'm like, there's some people who are like, they literally frustrates them. I'm like, this is not playable. Like, this is not fun. But you know, and I think that's probably what they need to do going forward. So hopefully, Detective Pikachu, when it comes out, for people who are excited for that, they don't get the same buggy mess.
At least it's not a buggy mess. Yeah, visually it won't be the best still, but hey, maybe not a buggy mess.
For real.
Oh man, I could go on and on about Pokemon. I really could, but we need to move on. Oh, next one's the game of the year though. The next game they announced is the game of the year though. So, I mean, it's Trombone Champ, man.
I didn't even see that. I was skimming through headlines, so I didn't even see that. What is that? What is even that game?
Dude, it's like Guitar Hero but with trombones, and you can play up to 4 players.
Oh. No.
It's not Trombone Champ. It's literally Fart Champ, essentially.
Oh my gosh, I'll have to go back and watch
It's so
that after
goofy,
this.
man. It shadow dropped it. That was their shadow drop. Yeah, that was their shadow drop.
Oh wow.
The trombone game.
I would more consider F-Zero 99 to be their shadow drop, but yeah,
it's game of the year though. It's game of the year. It's gonna be Tears of the Kingdom. Trombone Champ. Yeah, 100%. 4-player madness.
Tears of the Kingdom, epic, a huge epic where Link is just trying to find Zelda. She turns into a dragon. God rest her soul. And all that. It's getting beat out by a trombone game. Thanks, Nintendo.
Oh man. Don't care about the next announcement. It was a League of Legends game. I think another League of Legends game or strategy game. Oh, here was an interesting one I thought was kind of cool. That they're remaking the original Contra? I thought that's kind of cool.
And while I've not been a huge I know that was a big game on like NES, I believe it was. And it was a huge I think there was more there was one on SNES and stuff like that. I never played a whole lot of that. I dabbled in it on Nintendo Switch Online, but it never just really grabbed me. But I know there was a lot of people. I had one teacher in high school who told me a story how he and his friend would play the original Contra on NES. And so when I saw that, I was like, it made me think of him. So I imagine fans who enjoyed that back in the day, I'm sure when they hear about this, it'll be like, oh wow, they're redoing it and they're making it better.
And it's up to 4 players too, really which is awesome. That's so cool. I have the collection that was $5 or whatever. I know Josie played it before too on stream. That first game is just too dang hard, man. So I'm glad that you can play it with up to 4 people. I don't know if you can play the main single player with 4 people or not, but you can play with at least 2 for the main mode. It looks like you can do up to 4 for the main game though. So that, you know what? I just found another game for Sunday Night Gaming if it's cheap.
Hey.
It looks freaking fun, man. It just looks fun. It's made by Konami, just like the other ones, obviously. But no, that was a good announcement, though. That was a good announcement. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, 100%.
What the heck is Unicorn Overlord? What? See, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I
Some
skipped
Japanese,
half
whatever.
of that.
I don't know. Okay, here we go. Luigi's Mansion 2, which they're calling it 2 now. Yeah. They're calling it 2. It doesn't have its original name, which was Dark Moon. Yeah, Dark Moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But doesn't have the original name.
So, which they never gave a specific release date for that, and I'm kind of theorizing if because you know how all these games are kind of releasing back to back to back. We get Mario Wonder and then Mario RPG, and then in February in 2024 we're getting Mario vs Donkey Kong in February and Princess Peach in March. I feel like Luigi's Mansion is gonna be April, and then Paper Mario is gonna be May. I feel like that's what I think.
That could be.
Yeah, I feel like
that could be the case because maybe none of these are their holiday titles for next year. Like you said, especially if the new console were to be holiday next year.
There is no way we're waiting a year to play Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Yeah. Plus, there is no way.
Plus, the Prime games, if they're being remastered still, like, I mean, gosh, Nintendo's got, dang, man. This year alone, let alone next year, they've been killing it with the Switch, man.
They've been sitting on a lot of stuff. They really have.
Yeah. You know what else is crazy is like, so I got a new coworker, right? And he just started today, and he told me he literally, because he's not like a Nintendo fan, it goes to show the Switch's success when he literally bought a Switch just to play third-party titles in handheld mode wherever he goes, because the Switch is just that good. You know? The amount of games on it.
And I think and I'm sure we'll say we can talk about a little bit of the Switch 2 stuff towards the end, but like the one thing I will say I think that will make or break this next system is whether or not the handheld mode feature carries over, because I think that's what drew a lot of people in. Like, ooh, I can play the biggest Zelda game ever created in my lap or in my bed or like on a plane, like. That is what drew people in. That's what drew me in, honestly. Absolutely. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yep, that dang Wii U did trickery on me because I didn't know enough about gaming at the time, and I got the Wii U, and I'm like, oh, this ain't a handheld. I can't take it anywhere I go. Dang it! You know?
Yeah. But
anyway, I was going to say, we'll talk more about that at the end. A little bit more. The Nintendo Museum looks cool. I mean, that's a cool idea. That was always something I was fascinated about that Nintendo never did before. It was kind of surprising to me that they hadn't had one before.
I don't have the money to go. I want to go, but like that's too far away from me.
I don't know when it opens. It's just
this to me. This is gonna sound like a downer, but I kind of wish that this wasn't in the Direct. I wish this was kind of like its own thing, because it wasn't like anything gaming. I mean, it is gaming related. I mean, it's celebrating Nintendo's history. It's great, you know, the Nintendo memories, if you will. Anyway, that's terrible. Yeah, no. But anyway, I kind of wish that wasn't in the Direct, only because, you know, it kind of took out time that they could have maybe put in something else, but you know, they probably had to, because I noticed towards
it was quick. At least
it was quick. I will say it was quick, but I also noticed definitely towards the end of this Direct that they were trying to find some way to fill time.
Yeah,
because like you noticed before the 1,000 Year Door trailer at the end, they said okay, let's recap everything that we showed you already.
Yeah.
And that went on for a bit.
Yeah, and usually they do the recap at the very, very end. So that's very interesting that they did it that way. So yeah, no, you make a good point there. Absolutely a good point. Next thing that they did though was the amiibo. You know, we got to get them Zelda amiibos.
Yeah, and I know you as a Smash fan's Sora is probably a huge.
I'll take 2, please.
Look. Yeah, and I'll say this: I imagine it's probably going to be a bloodbath for Sora for all the Kingdom Hearts fans who are going to go after that thing when it gets on sale.
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna make sure that I get it day one. If I don't get a pre-order for it, I'm gonna make sure that I go out to Target day one, because when Sephiroth and Kazuya came out, because those are up in price now. But when they first came out, I went out day one. I searched all over, and then Target had my back. Dude, they weren't even on the shelf yet when they first came. When I went to go get them day one, the guy at Target was like, because I seen a shelf tag, I think. Yeah, I seen a shelf tag, and I asked somebody, and he's like, huh. And then he went to the back. He said, oh yeah, they're not even on the shelf yet. Okay, here they are in a box. So my local Target, I guess, has my back if I can't get any pre-orders on them on Amazon.
What I would do is I would get two of them. One for you to play with, and then the other just keep
That's what I'm
sealed,
doing,
man. Because I imagine later on down the line, later on down the road, that thing's gonna be worth something.
Oh yeah.
That's the truth.
Oh yeah, that'll be worth even more than like half the amiibos, man. You imagine, because that one might have costed them the most to make too. No?
Oh yeah, you know, and I bet you some of that revenue's going to Disney. You know it is.
Oh yeah.
That specific amiibo, that some of that money, that amiibo specifically,
100%.
that's going to Disney. Of
Absolutely.
Course. Yeah.
50-50 or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
And the Zelda amiibo do look great though. Like
yeah.
So my question is, because they did this with the Breath of the Wild amiibo, they made the first 4 figures, like the big statues, and they were directly the amiibos. I'm wondering if they're going to do that with the Tears of the Kingdom amiibos as well. I'm assuming they will. Like the Link amiibo's the same as that giant statue at the New York store. So I'm assuming, I don't think first 4 figures has made any yet, but I definitely would love to see them do the Zelda, because like I don't have a Zelda statue, and I would like to have one, but I want the one of her with short hair. I don't want the long-haired one. So
yeah, I think that would be cool, but I think the Zelda, I really love the Zelda one that we're getting with her restoring the Master Sword. I really like that, because I think also a reason why they probably hesitated on announcing that in the first place is because that was close to when the game was first released, and like if you played the game, you know what moment that is, and whenever she's restoring that, and so, but yeah, I'm looking forward to those amiibo. Ganondorf's looks amazing, and I hope, I feel like even after those are released, I feel like those are gonna be worth a pretty penny too. Because eventually, I don't think Nintendo's gonna continue amiibo support for much longer. I feel like after they finish their whole thing with Sora and these amiibo for Zelda, They did
you see they changed the box art though? They completely changed the box art of what it was like with the Wii U era and stuff for amiibos. They completely made a brand new box art for amiibos, so they might continue amiibo support with the next console. Plus, I heard that they're going to be restocking some of the Smash Bros. Amiibos as well. So
that's intriguing. Because I for the longest time had seen it. It seemed like they were about to phase amiibo out, because you really don't hear much about amiibo anymore unless they have like new figures being announced. This Direct was the first time I'd heard about amiibo in a
since
while.
The last Nintendo Direct, give or take, or whenever Kazuya and Sephiroth
and even
were
in the
announced. Whenever those were announced.
Kazuya and even in this June, I don't think there was any amiibo in the last Direct. Was there? Yeah, it's been a long time. So, so.
Yep. So we'll see where amiibo goes. Who knows? Smash is done. I'm glad that Sora's getting an amiibo. That's all I know. Because I was worried it wasn't. There was rumors he wouldn't at one point because Disney and all that. But thank goodness it's happening. Okay. The next one was pretty big. Big-ish. And that was the F-Zero 99. We didn't touch on that too much, but some people were disappointed. Actually, a lot of people probably were. Just because they were like, oh, F-Zero! No way! And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, 99. You know?
So, yeah, I've never had a whole lot of exposure to F-Zero. I knew it was big. I knew a lot of people enjoyed it, and even I played it some on NSO whenever it was, put there. But like, I wasn't like, oh my goodness, like I just need another game, But when I saw the 99 part of it coming over to F-Zero, like, this could be fun. And then I downloaded it, and now I can't stop playing it. So I'm having a ton of fun with it. So I know some people are probably disappointed that it's not a brand new game. It's sort of new game. I mean, it's
sort of
you racing against 99 other people. How is that not gonna be fun? I mean, the only people who are probably mad about this is the people who are just diehard F-Zero fans. They just needed that.
But the thing is I think it could be a tease for what's to come in the future of F-Zero, you know, because even though it's a 99 game, I would say that it proves that Nintendo hears the fans once again, that they want F-Zero, and it could be a tease of a GameCube port of an F-Zero, if anything, over a new F-Zero in the future. Yeah, we want a new one, but like they could do a GameCube port or remaster or whatever, like they're doing sometime, but whether it be the new console or towards the end of the Switch's lifespan, I could see it 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also with this game as well, I really hope that Nintendo doesn't pull the plug on this like they're doing with Pac-Man 99 and how they did with Super Mario 35.
Tetris 99.
I hope that this is here to stay. Or I don't think they're doing it with Tetris 99. I think Tetris 99 is still here. The only thing I've heard that they're doing it with is Pac-Man 99, which I think is
maybe they base it on the player base. Maybe they base it on like how many people are still active on this game, you know. There's a chance that maybe that could be the reason.
Yeah, it could be, but one of the things that I just hope that doesn't happen with F-Zero 99. I know a lot of people will probably be really upset if they pulled the plug on that. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely, because it being F-Zero, 100%. Don't care about League of Legends games or whatever. WarioWare, I mean, I like the last one.
I've never been a WarioWare.
Last one was okay, but the only thing is that I only played so many hours of it, so it's like it wasn't really worth $40. I'd say they're worth like 20, but they're fun with friends or whatever, you know? Like, by yourself, it's like, it's okay, but with friends, it's so much more fun. Really, if you have people to play with, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not a bad announcement or anything.
Yeah,
you know, the game's coming out soon, so it made sense to be in the Direct.
Yeah, so I've never been a big fan of the WarioWare games either. I've seen them, I've heard of them, I've seen some gameplay of them. They've just never been like, ooh, I've never been like, ooh, that I just gotta play that. So I was like, oh, it's WarioWare. Cool, moving on.
Yeah, right. I don't know what Euden Chronicle is. It's another one of those pixelated games. Octopia DLC, don't know. Wargroove 2, don't know. Oh my gosh, there was really not much more. Jeez. Okay, there we go. Mario Kart. We knew that was coming. But what we didn't know, did not know about this wave, I thought there was only 2 characters left. We got 4 characters.
We got more, which is interesting because I've seen some people speculating like if there's more characters, could they be planning another booster course?
Yeah, because where are these characters gonna go? Like, there's just gonna be 2 extra characters there with a empty line? No, I think there might be question marks. Yeah. Because that just doesn't seem right at all. Even if they do a smaller booster course pass, you know, with like just 2 passes or something. That way the characters all line up to where there's 4 more characters. I don't know. It makes sense for them to just keep going since clearly Mario Kart 9... Don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon.
That's for the next
console, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless this does somehow end the game, because, I mean, the mobile game just ended. So, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me if there's going to be 2 extra character slots up there and the rest be empty. So, we'll have to see. There might be more question marks, and if there is, then there's our answer when it comes out. Without even another announcement for the game. Because I don't think we're going to get any more announcements other than them. Well, they might do something because we don't have an actual release date, so they got to give us another trailer on it of some kind. Because they didn't actually... Wait a minute. Yeah. Did they show us, other than the... What track was it? Other than the first track that they showed, did they show all the tracks? Wii Daisy Circuit, that was all they showed, right?
They didn't show anything else. They're leaving this pack mostly a mystery, which they kind of did with the other pack as well. They waited till closer that they released a trailer showing all the tracks. I kind of wish they'd leave it a mystery until it released. Just kind of be like a surprise, like when you open the game, like, ooh, let's see what new tracks we get, and then it would be like a surprise whenever you play them. But either way, I think it's still cool. But I hope that since this is the last one, I hope that it has some really good tracks from previous games.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Completely agree. Oh my gosh, and then they went right into Among Us. Who cares about Among Us? I'm sorry, someone might.
Not me.
Not me. I have it. I played it like twice, ever. And then the big one, Paper Mario, you know. That made me flip out.
This is the. Again, this is me wishing I had been able to stream and film my reaction because I was losing my mind when this happened. Because this was the game that, in our last discussion, I said probably not gonna happen. This is the one game I thought would not be here. That was the one game I was like, never in a million years would they do this. And then lo and behold, I'm eating my words at this last announcement. I'm really happy I was wrong.
You were getting cocky. You were like, this is a Mario focused direct, but there's not going to be Paper Mario the 1,000-Year Door.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way that they would be that good to us. Okay, yes, they can be that good to us.
And it's not a port. It's a freaking remake.
It's a straight up remake, and I've also another way to tell that it's a straight up remake. They're completely remastering the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like the soundtrack sounds so much better. And I'm just picturing like some of like those boss themes and world themes.
Man,
it's gonna be amazing.
This is one of my favorite games of all time, man. So I can't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes. When I seen the book, I was like, is that? No. And then I seen the Paper Mario, and I'm like, okay, no, this ain't 1,000-Year Doors. It's 64? I'm like, wait, what is this? And then once I seen just the picture of the town pop up, I'm like, no way!
As soon as I heard those first couple of notes, because I'm a huge like music person, and so I'm able to pick up on certain like I love video game music, and I listen to a lot of sound. So when I heard those first couple of notes, I was like, "Oh, this is 1,000-Year Door, no way!" And so I knew immediately. One of my fondest memories. I played it on GameCube back before the prices of that game just went.
I still have my copy. Crazy. I rebought my copy in like 2018. I don't know what happened to my old copy. Must have sold it when I was a kid. I don't know, but man, I'm glad I kept it. But the prices might go down now. Maybe the prices will go down on it.
Yeah, and I remember my fondest memories of that game was I bought it on eBay for like somebody was selling it for like, I kid you not, $10. I bought the game for $10, and it came in, and I ended up getting sick with like a really bad cold, so I had to stay home from school. And the day I was home from school, it came in, so I got to stay home in bed and like with my covers and just play Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door, and it was great. It was awesome. So I'm happy that it's back.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. It might be my favorite Mario game of all time. I mean, Mario Sunshine's up there for me. Both of them were my childhood Mario games. That's why they're my favorite. And to have both on the Switch now, I just can't believe it. I can't believe this announcement. I cannot believe this is real. Like,
and it's like you said. This is another example of Nintendo listening to the fans. We've wanted this for a long time. I've wanted this for a long time. And this just kind of goes to show Mario RPG, a remake of Paper Mario with the foundational gameplay that players love. Hopefully this is a sign of Nintendo being. I wonder if this is Nintendo saying, okay, they say they love this type of gameplay. Let's give it to them and see how they respond. So everybody who's watching this, go buy these games day one and show Nintendo that we want this kind of gameplay. If you don't want crazy spinning mechanics like you got in Origami King again, go and get this game, and so they will know, okay, let's go back to the basics, because money talks. Money talks, my friend.
It sure does. And, you know, it's just, I don't know, I'm just watching it, and it's still just baffling to me that this is real.
Yeah, I'm just going back to like, I'm really looking forward to like listening to that whole remastered soundtrack. Like I'm picturing that final boss and just that epic orchestra swell, and it's gonna be so good.
You know what else this really proves? It proves that they're totally gonna do a port of Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. They're gonna do it. This proves that it's gonna happen. Whether it's next year or not, for all we know, it could be on the next console. It's gonna happen. Because this happened, which was literally something I never thought would happen, it's gonna happen. They're gonna happen.
Which I guess which now that we've kind of gone through everything, we can kind of start talking about Switch 2 a little bit if you want
Absolutely.
to. And I'll go ahead and I'll kind of open the can of worms on that conversation. This direct showed me that the next console better be backwards compatible. Yep. There is no way you announce Paper Mario Thousand Year Door and not allow it to be played on the next system. Could you imagine that? Like, here's Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, the game that you've clamored for ages. Okay, here's the next system. Guess what? You can't play Paper Mario Thousand Year Door on it anymore.
Yeah, I don't see that. I understand.
People would be mad.
See, the Wii U, it made sense not to be backwards compatible. Actually, wait. No, it was with the Wii. Never mind. But it made sense for the Wii U for the Switch not to have backwards compatibility with the Wii U, because the Wii U didn't sell well. The Wii U was kind of more of a failure for Nintendo, for being honest. But then you look at the Wii. Well, you can play GameCube games on it. The GameCube you couldn't, obviously, with anything because of mini discs, which I think that's the only console to ever have mini discs, like ever, which I find very interesting.
Yeah.
But the Wii you could play GameCube. The Wii U you could play Wii games. So I mean, it makes complete sense for it to be backwards compatible. It'd be stupid not to be. Plus, Nintendo before did state that they didn't know where to go from the Switch because it's so successful.
Right. And in another thing too, like, I've had this theory for a long time, and I've talked about it with Josie, and I've talked about it on just separate videos on my channel and some of our discussions that I've had with her. But I've had this theory for a long time. People have been wondering, why are they holding out on revealing Switch 2? Why are they holding out on revealing it? And I've always thought that Switch Online is a huge component of that. And the reason why I say that is because as the Switch has gone on, they've slowly added NES, SNES, N64, Game Boy Advance, and they're starting to remaster and put these GameCube games on there, and they've ported a lot of Wii games and Wii U games onto the Switch. Now, I feel like they're slowly making the Switch the ultimate Nintendo system, if you know what I mean. All of Nintendo in one place, kind of like what Disney is doing with Disney Plus, all of Disney in one place. I feel like Nintendo is doing that with Nintendo Switch Online. They're bringing everything to one place, and with these GameCube remasters, and with the best of the Wii, best of the Wii U, and they're whenever they finally reveal Switch 2, they'll be able to say, yeah, look at these 4K graphics, look at all these wonderful new games, but they'll also be able to say, hey, guess what? All of Nintendo is now on one system. And I think fans would go crazy over that. And I think especially like new players, old fans, like, could you imagine, like, I feel like this next system could be a way of bringing new fans in, but even could you just imagine, like, old fans from like long ago, like seeing their games from their old childhood brought back on this system. Like, it would be a way to bring in to, like, unite Nintendo fans of all ages in a way. I just feel like it has potential to be huge, and that's what I think they're probably doing. That's just my theory. I don't know if that's true, but it just seems logical. You know,
it makes sense if they didn't know where to go from the Switch, and they have like the best system right now other than their hardware. Makes complete sense to do exactly what you're saying with their next system. I don't know. Other than that, and hopefully they took ideas and concepts from like the Steam Deck and whatever that other handheld is. I don't know, but the Steam Deck was like a really big thing. So like when it comes to tech and hardware, I mean, they probably took some aspects and ideas from the Steam Deck, because it's not hard to make a handheld that will dock into your TV. That can't be too hard, you know, just with the plug to the HDMI port. So.
But I've seen some people talk about how that if this thing could be it could release like at the very end of 2024, I still think that's a little too soon. And the reason why I say that is because in March we get Princess Peach. I'm predicting possibly April we're getting Luigi's Mansion, and May is going to be the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. If that is the case, they've got 6 months to market this new system and then release it.
Plus we gotta think about too, there could be a chance that we get those Zelda remasters in there as well, possibly, as well as ports. Absolutely. So, you know,
and having to juggle all that, I just don't think that they would want to do it, because I feel like when they do reveal this thing, they want all eyes on that system and not on Switch. I'm sure they'll probably say, oh yeah, some of these games that we announced today, they can be played on the current Switch. But, you know, because that's another thing. and I'm kind of curious on your opinion on this. Do you think that support for the current Switch will
Yes.
continue whenever
It will
whenever
have
Switch
support
2?
for at least 3 years, I believe I heard, after this console comes out. I think it said till at least 2027, people were saying, somewhere along those lines, for the Switch to have support.
That's what I've been saying, because Nintendo has said to investors over and over again they want 10 years out of this out of this system. That's what they want. And so if that's the case, 2017, 10 years would be 2027. So yeah.
Which is insane. I don't like to think about time, but whatever. It just goes.
And Nintendo has, and I gotta say, Nintendo has proven a lot of people wrong. A lot of people has said, like, okay, the Switch is a dying console. It can't withstand. It's underpowered. Like, how can it? Look at what Zelda has done. Look at Metroid Prime Remaster. Like, look at all of these amazing games that have come out with it. Like, Nintendo has continued to stay on top with this system since launch, and that's just insane and unprecedented. Like, a console this late in its life cycle should be dead. It really should. It should be on the cusp of phasing out, but it's not. It's still soaring high in the clouds, and with Mario and Paper Mario and Princess Peach and Luigi's Mansion all coming within a span of months, back to back to back to back.
It's impressive.
They're going to be making all kinds of money in the coming months, which is insane.
That's why I'm wondering for like casual fans that well, I mean, we got all this Mario stuff, but like your casual audience and kids and stuff aren't gonna really know what Metroid Prime 4 is, so it's like, okay, what else is this system gonna have? Is it gonna have a new Donkey Kong? That'd be pretty great. Kids know who that is because of the Mario movie. So I mean, I think capitalizing on that would be smart, but they might wait to capitalize on Donkey Kong until the second Mario movie, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I also think that's why. Yeah, I think that's also why Mario vs. Donkey Kong, I think, is going to do well, because you had that scene in the Mario movie where Mario and Donkey Kong, they throw down in that arena, right? And kids are going to remember that. And I'm sure when they find out, oh, there's a new game where you're fighting Donkey Kong, that's cool. Let's go get that. Mom, take me to go get that game. Like, I just feel like that's another reason why I think that game is going to do well. But yeah, that Nintendo just has a lot of the pipeline still, and I honestly, because it's kind of like what we were talking about the other night. I wasn't really expecting much going into this Direct. I expected it to be Mario focused, and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door was something I was very delighted to see. And so I think it was a very is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
Oh yeah,
Star Wars fans.
It sure is, to have one of my favorite childhood games return. I still cannot believe it. I'm gonna have a hard time processing that for a while, to be honest. The fact that I'll be able to play that in handheld, like.
Oh yeah. What's gonna be even more crazy is when it finally releases and you're holding it in your hands and like it's right there in front of your face. I don't know if you've gone to actually. Do you have the Switch or the Switch?
I just have the
I'm
Switch.
Just curious.
I have the base Switch.
Okay, well either way, I don't know if you've gone onto like your and watched the trailer on the Switch. It looks really cool. Like, I just watched the trailer on my Switch and it looked sweet. It was awesome. Yeah, you should.
So I think we talked about like everything. Oh my gosh, who knows? I don't even know how long we've been doing this. I have no idea. Whatever, it's fun.
It's been awesome.
What's your rating on it, on the Direct itself?
I honestly, I know a lot of people were kind of like, this was a meh Direct, this was a Direct, gave this Direct a solid 8. Like, I have my video, the newest video that I put up today is kind of me going over my thoughts, kind of brief thoughts on the things that stood out to me. And at the very end, I gave this Direct a solid 8 out of 10, mainly because of I got exactly what I expected. Like, some people I know went in with way too hype expectations. They were expecting something that, like, people who, like, I know there were Metroid fans who wanted to see Metroid Prime 4. Like I said, I went in with a 50-50 shot. I wasn't disappointed that we didn't see it because we got something, honestly, I think a little bit better. I can wait a little longer for Prime 4 now that we got Thousand Year Door, because I thought Thousand Year Door was an impossibility. I was not expecting it. And you don't owe me $10.
Yeah.
So, but I give this Direct a solid 8 out of 10. I expected it to be Mario focused again, and I expected to possibly see Splatoon 3, and we got the title reveal for Princess Peach, and I was not expecting Thousand Year Door, and we got that.
We've seen everything that you predicted accept Metroid and did not and seen Thousand Year Doors when you said no. So you had some things wrong.
Yeah. So it wasn't. But yeah, that's the only reason I don't give it a 10 out of 10 is because Metroid wasn't here. Which, you know, if they had a Shadow Drop Prime 2
yeah, at the
remastered,
very
it
end when
should
there
have
was
been
a final
10 out of 10.
announcement, I'm like, okay, is this Metroid Prime 2 remastered? Because what else could it be? I didn't predict that it'd be a Mario thing again, and some people were mad about that. It's like, how can you be mad? It's Thousand Year Door. Like,
I know, and that's it's funny. It's funny. One of the last things I said last night, and I even talked about it in my predictions for the direct. There's no way they can end. I said it verbatim. This is what I said. There's no way they can end with Mario again. And guess what they did? They ended with Mario.
Yep. They ended with Mario, but in the best Mario way
There's
possible.
no way. Yeah, and so. But yeah, a solid 8 out of 10 for me. What do you rate it?
I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
I'd like to give it an 8. I'm not gonna. It's not mid for me, and that's because of the Mario Thousand Year Door saved it for me. If it wouldn't have been Mario Thousand Year Door, like if it would have been Prime 2, I'm gonna be honest, it probably would have been mid for me just because I like Thousand Year Door more, more than the Prime games. If it would have been Prime 4, it would have been mid because I'd owe you $10. No, that's not why. No, it would have been a like 9 out of 10 then if they actually showed Prime 4 in any kind of way, probably. But it's funny. I think RGT actually made a video on where the heck Prime 4 is, and I haven't watched that yet. But that's the question. Where the heck is it? Where the heck is it?
And I think the answer is that it's
waiting for the new console.
I'm fully and I'm gonna start talking a bit on my channel a bit more now about it now because I've been such a person who just likes to stay away from Switch 2 at the moment because I know if I start talking about it too much, my hype for it is gonna start building towards it, and I want to stay away from it for a while because I want to wait until we're closer to it because I got burned by the Switch Pro rumors around the Switch OLED because I remember right on the cusp of that being revealed that people were saying Switch Pro is imminent, trailers tomorrow, and I was like, oh, this is real, oh my goodness, it looks legit, it's gonna happen. I was so mad when it was just Switch OLED. We
all thought that though. We all thought that because there was already the Switch Lite, so it was like, why would we need another Switch? You know, we got this handheld one and we got the regular Switch. It made sense. Like, why do we need another Switch? Just give us the new hardware Switch or whatever. Not an OLED screen one. So it was like, when I seen that, I was disappointed, and like, I don't have an OLED, but I guess that's because I was like, well, I don't really want to spend the money on OLED when I have my base Switch. So I was like, I don't know, because I don't play enough in handheld mode. I guess that's partially what it is, you know. So I mean, we all got baited though. And that's why. And every time I hear anything about Switch Pro now, I just stay away from it because I don't want to get burned like that again. And for the record, I did end up getting a Switch OLED. The only reason why is because they finally gave us a good Zelda Tears of the Kingdom edition, and I thought that was worth it. Like for me personally as a Zelda fan, I thought it was great. Oh, absolutely. 100%.
So
I feel like with the next system, I'd probably do that if they do it. I'd probably break, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I didn't break with the Switch. That Zelda OLED did almost get me, and I've still seen them before in person, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get it though. I'm kind of shocked that they haven't gone out, like they haven't sold out yet. But I will say this: another reason why I think Switch Pro is still a while away. They continue announcing Switch OLED models. They announced a Mario Wonder Switch OLED for Mario Brothers Wonder. Why do that if you're planning on revealing a new system later on down the line? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. So. I feel like it's more likely to be early 2025 now that we're talking about it than holiday next year because the Switch wasn't during the holiday. It just kind of happened. Like, no. They'll announce it. They'll announce it next year, I'm sure, but it doesn't mean it's going to release.
Yeah, Yeah, if they follow the same marketing pattern as the regular Switch, it'll be revealed sometime in like October, November, and then they'll have like a big presentation in like January, and then it'll release in March of 2025. If they do the same thing like they did before, but Nintendo has always been known to change things up. So.
Yep. Well, I guess that about wraps it up. I don't know how long we've been talking. Maybe an hour. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely.
This was a lot of fun though. This was awesome to talk about this with you. Yeah. This was a conversation that I needed with somebody that's another Nintendo fan to talk about this. And as more things
100%.
come along, especially with this new Switch, you know, there'll be more to talk about with this Switch and with Metroid, etc. I mean, Paper Mario. I don't know. I might, like I said, I might do a separate thing just for Paper Mario because that's just a big deal for me. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. So, and you too. I can tell that's a big deal. So, it's a big deal for a lot of us. Yeah. That's why there was an outcry.
I hope this is. Yeah, I hope that maybe this means later on down. I mean, I know this one's kind of controversial, but I hope maybe they will bring Super Paper Mario at some point because that was my first exposure to the Paper Mario series. So that's how I first knew about it. So me just for myself, it's just one of my selfish wishes here. I hope at some point maybe Super Paper Mario comes later on down the line because I love that game. But I know some people are like, it's not the same. But anyway.
Yeah. So I guess that's gonna wrap it up for us then. This has been a heck of a long discussion.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, we've been talking forever. So we need to shut up and go like play some video games and then also sleep too. Sleep's good for you, you know. I mean, the only problem is when you're a gamer, sleep is also difficult sometimes.
And a Star Wars fan.
That too, yes. All right. Now, the link to his channel will be in the description. He's on YouTube. I think that's it. So, link to his channel will be in the description. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe to him. And we'll catch you guys in the future. Watch his videos, watch my videos, and then eventually watch us both again in time. And maybe more people. We'll see.
Great time.
All right. Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in. See you guys next time. Later.